3 years on from Grenfell, the emotion is still raw. We still don't have all the answers, but we know the refurbishment of Grenfell Tower was illegal and poorly executed. A preventable tragedy caused by cost-cutting with no regard for safety. A landlord that failed us, a council that betrayed us, and companies driven by corporate arrogance and greed. 3 years on, companies, corporations, national and local government want us to forget. They want to be forgotten, but we will never forget. Arconic, we say your name. Ryden, we say your name. KCTMO, RBKC, we say your names. Exova, Harley, Celotex, we all say your names. Do not distance yourselves from Grenfell. You are to blame. If you think we will forget your role in this disaster, you are gravely mistaken. To those of you that try to anonymize yourself, know this. When the world hears or sees your name, they will remember you were responsible for the loss of life at Grenfell Tower. 3 years on, and you refuse to admit guilt. You still accept no responsibility, but the evidence is overwhelming. And the truth will come out, because the truth matters. But we have learned that our truth is not treated equally to yours. Our loved ones spoke the truth in exchange for the right to a safe home. Our loved ones spoke the truth, but in exchange were bullied and made to feel imprisoned in unsafe homes. Now the corporates will only tell the truth in exchange for some protection from prosecution. The system once again works to protect the powerful. So 3 years on, we are still fighting for the truth. Fighting the fear of all those responsible not learning again. And we are still fighting for change. Change is not optional, it is long overdue. In the construction industry, change is inevitable. Only change will save lives. Will you, the industry, propose effective changes yourselves? Or will you wait for it to be imposed upon you? The level of incompetence and toxic behavior leading to and during the Grenfell Tower refurbishment is incomprehensible. It was immoral and inhumane. The purpose of the building regulations is to preserve life. And some of you massaged your way around them, compromising the safety of our lives. To the government, the building regulations are not fit for purpose. There are thousands of high-risk buildings across the country with flammable materials. Grenfell is not just about high-rises. It's about making homes safe irrespective of their height, because everyone deserves a safe home. There is still no plan B to stay put. Are we ready for another Grenfell? How many more lives must we lose until change comes? How many more lives will we risk in social housing in the private sector? How long must people suffer the fear and financial ruin of living in an unsafe home? How many more anniversaries must pass before we see justice, accountability and change? Which brings us to justice. Justice is complicated. The emotion is still raw for us. There was the complexity of how people lost their loved ones. The complexity of how those who survived made it out. And those that survived but lost loved ones along the way. Our different encounters and experiences before, during and after the fire has shaped what justice looks like for each of us. For some families, the truth would provide peace and closure. For others, that is not enough. And reputational damage, financial penalties, safer homes, and most importantly, imprisonment are needed to feel at peace. Sometimes we cannot even talk and agree among ourselves what accountability looks like because of the overwhelming failures and pain we had to endure. We hear Grenfell talked about as the poor cousin. That phrase symbolizes the inequality and the neglect of our voice, the inequality of human life. But Grenfell has also united us. Grenfell has united the bereaved, the survivors, and the local community, and everyone across the country living in unsafe homes. And whatever our differences, we will remain united until justice comes. 3 years on, we have a message for those responsible. 3 years on, we reflect on your failures while you choose to hide them. We reflect on our pain and suffering while you choose to ignore it. We remember the names of our loved ones while you try to change yours. We remember the night while you do not recall it. We keep telling the truth while you keep telling lies. We reflect on who passed and survived even as you, our landlord, had no record of who they were. We reflect on those that suffocated from the smoke while you continue to breathe freely. We want to move on, but you continue to delay and deny. 3 years on, we remain determined for truth, justice and change. 72, forever in our hearts.